Goatsi, Dawashdrawashap. Hello and good evening. Welcome to the AIA New Mexico elevAte Design and Honor Awards. I'm Cynthia Figueroa McIntyre, 2021 AIA New Mexico President. I was really hoping that this year would be different. I would be greeting everyone in person, meeting newly licensed architects and emerging professionals, chatting it up with colleagues and raising a glass to esteemed fellows, and just having fun with our great associate members. But here we are again in our virtual world. Whether you're watching alone or in a group, I know that we're celebrating together as we acknowledge outstanding design and inspiring leadership. Let us know if you're out there by checking out hashtag AIA New Mexico. Year after year, we have had wonderful support from our event sponsors, and this year is no exception. The generous support of our sponsors is much appreciated. Dawa'e, which means thank you, to our firm fan sponsor, Sarkon Construction. Dawa'e, to our dessert sponsors, Arizona Tile, RJ Dean and Associates, and Insight Lighting. Dawa'e, to our food and drink sponsors, Echo Grip, Allied Industries International Inc., MOSA, C&S Distributing, and the Stowe Corporation. Dawa'e, to our silver level sponsors, Lucchini Trujillo Structural Engineers, Tarquette, EEA Consulting Engineers, and Daltile. And last, a great big Dawa'e to our gold level sponsor, Desert Peak Architects. The elevAte Design and Leadership Award takes months of planning and coordination, and this year was no exception. So I wanted to recognize our amazing team. The elevAte Planning Committee was chaired by AIA New Mexico past President Jennifer Penner. Committee members include Executive Director Valerie Stefani, UNM School of Architecture and Planning Representative Christina Yu, and AIA Western Mountain Region Young Architect Forum Regional Director Ashley Hartshorn, and me too. We are also very thankful for two individuals who have gone above and beyond to make this year's event a success. Dawa'e to our Public Director Heidi Steele, who has been instrumental in outreach activity to support AIA New Mexico and this year's Design and Honors celebration, and to my husband Bob McIntyre for sharing his time and talent to bring together all the video clips, drawings, photos, and adding effects and enhancements to create this year's awards presentation video. Before moving on to the awards, I have a couple of announcements. The Western Mountain Region Summit is being planned as an in-person event and will take place from September 29th to October 2nd at Hotel Albuquerque. I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone there. And the 2021 Western Mountain Region Design and Honor Awards call for entries are out, and they're due May 14th for early bird savings and May 28th for regular prices. Submissions are due by June 7th. Winners will be announced September 30th at the WMR Summit. Now, on to the Design Awards. We are privileged to have Eddie Jones chair our Design Awards this year. Eddie was raised in Oklahoma and moved to Arizona in '73 after receiving his Bachelor's of Architecture from Oklahoma State University. He founded Jones Studio on June 8, 1979, which turned out to be the birthday of his heroes, Frank Lloyd Wright and Bruce Goff. Eddie has served on numerous design juries and has worked to positively enact policies that directly affect architects by serving on professional boards and committees to advance the quality of architecture in the community. In 2007, Eddie was appointed to the GSA Design Excellence Peer Review. In 2017, he was named to the founding governors of the School of Architecture at Taliesin and is active in Arizona Forward, Arizona's premier organization for promoting sustainable design. In 2018, he received the AIA Arizona Architects Medal, which is the highest honor an architect can receive in the state. Eddie and his brother and business partner Neil became fellows in the American Institute of Architects this year. Join me in welcoming AIA fellow Eddie Jones.
Thank you, Cynthia, for your wonderful introduction, and I'm very proud to chair your 2021 Design Awards jury. Although making this video has been interesting, it's not nearly as much fun as celebrating with you guys in person. I'm speaking to you from my studio in Tempe, Arizona, which is within walking distance to the School of Architecture at Arizona State University. I'm passionate about education, and as chair, I want this year's awards program to be informative as well as a celebration of New Mexico architects. We had only 26 submissions in total, and they were split into 5 categories. I'm pretty sure there were many projects that should have been submitted, but for one reason or another, were not. So it is in the spirit of that I congratulate all the firms who had the pride and conviction to participate regardless of outcome. And all 26 projects will be presented tonight before I announce specific recognition. Regarding the jurors, I chose 3 rather than the usual 2 jurors, so the deliberation was a bit more difficult, but clearly effective. Also, I wanted all 4 of us to be local, yet diverse, on our focus on Southwest architecture. My first call was to Amit Bhatai. He was born and raised in Ahmedabad, India, and influenced by the great work of Le Corbusier and Lucan. He graduated from UNM in 1998 under the tutelage of the late Professor Kramer Woodward. Amit has his own design build firm in Scottsdale, Arizona, and has been teaching at Arizona State University School of Architecture, graduate and undergraduate programs since 2002. Amit is a thoughtful, poetic architect, and he makes furniture. He believes a responsible built environment begins with solid foundations laid for students. I chose Amit for his sensitive grasp of academic theory and his attention and respect for craftsmanship. And then there's Matt. Matt Winquist is an architectural photographer. He is also an excellent architect, having worked for Will Bruder Architects for 6 years, and then in collaboration with 3 young designers was recognized by Architectural Record with their prestigious 2009 Vanguard Award for Best Emerging Architectural Firm. In addition, Matt was awarded a Lyceum Fellowship, granting him 2 6-month independent studies abroad, where he honed his photography skills shooting the world's great architecture. I chose Matt for his exceptional eye for detail, composition, and a remarkable ability to discern an architecture defined by natural light. Then Michael. Michael Groves is an architect and partner in the design build construction firm Construction Zone. Michael and his team are considered to be the top custom builders in Arizona, if not the Southwest. Mr. Groves wears many hats. He has a deep appreciation for constructability and restraint as design determinants, and he is an excellent businessman. Great combination. I chose Michael for his ability to quickly assess plan organization, material connections, and landscape relationships. So before we get started, I want to share a few general impressions from the jury. Most will be complimentary, but some constructively critical. First, it bears repeating, hats off to all the architects that responded to the call and showed an elevated respect for their labor and their clients. And we found a consistent sensitivity to context, environmental responsibility, and best of all, an uncovering of architectural potential hiding inside each program. Many of the rural building sites were stunningly beautiful. We were jealous. While most of the projects showed an understandable emphasis on building, they held back from a true integration of thoughtful landscape architecture. The programs were clearly articulated in every submission, but the experiential feelings were frequently neglected. The quality of most presentations seemed rushed and therefore more scattered than unified. And I suggest you need to consider photography an important business investment that puts your firm's best foot forward. All in all, it was a very robust deliberation, and your work generated an elevated level of interest. That said, let's celebrate by enjoying one photo from all 26 submissions.
So let's hear a collective virtual applause for all these projects by your colleagues and New Mexico's finest. And now for the Design Awards. Our first category is Urban and Regional Planning. As defined in your call for entries, this award is given for significant achievement in planning, conception, design, and execution of projects at a regional and urban scale, which sensitively reinforce historic or existing urban form, connect to the internal and surrounding community, exhibit sustainability at a community scale, and respond to context through form and materials. We had 2 submissions, and we gave 1 merit award. Country Club Plaza by Mullen Heller Architects is located in Albuquerque and is considered a mixed-use development. The jury admired the decision to compositionally work with the quirky existing buildings rather than lose more urban history to a landfill. The result produced an authentic daytime, nighttime urban experience for both residents and non-residents. It was clear the architect valued the space between buildings and recognized the potential for an activated public destination. Choice of materials, both horizontal and vertical, encouraged fun and social engagement. Congratulations to Mullen Heller Architects. Our next category is Interior Architecture. This is given for significant achievements in planning, conception, design, and execution of interior projects that exhibit values esteemed in New Mexico, such as sense of place, design quality, materiality, cultural relevance, and stewardship. We had 3 submissions and chose 1 merit award. The El Punche Cafe by Krupnik Studio is located in Santa Fe Rail Yard and is considered adaptive reuse. Out of all the submissions, this was easily the most thoughtfully put together. The graphics, the text, and the photographs spoke to the poetics and spirit of the central idea of respite in a COVID world. It is a project that recognizes that simplicity is an architectural virtue, and even the most humble existing utilitarian buildings have potential as a counterpoint to new thinking. Congratulations to Krupnik Studio Architects and Gianna Gink and Todd Spitzer, owners. Our next category is Component Architecture. This award is given for building insertions, site installations, furniture, light fixtures, urban kiosks, shade structures, and other components either standalone or in response to a specific context of place that demonstrates design excellence in an element of limited size. We only had 1 submission in this category, and it received a citation.
It was appreciated the ubiquitous, always present patio space heater finally got some love and attention. How often have we been in a well-designed outdoor space only to be distracted by the clutter of propane heaters? Would it not be better to have the warmth and an improved visual experience? The designers transformed an off-the-shelf product, integrated lighting, and removed the fuel source with centralized control away from the guests. Congratulations to Heritage Hotels and Resorts owner. Next, we have the Unbuilt Design category. This award is given for important achievements in the execution of commissioned projects that were intended for construction but remain unrealized. We had 6 submissions and gave 1 merit award to the Arroyo del Oso Elementary project by John Anderson Architects. The jury felt this project was an excellent example of color with substance. The fearless use of bold color grounded in local culture worked both inside and out. Considering the users will be children, the spatial interest depicted in the interior renderings was also found compelling. Interior public spaces are visible from the upper hallways, thereby connecting people with place, and the controlled entry through the courtyard creates an effective progression of exterior space out to the playfield. Congratulations to the Arroyo del Oso Elementary School by John Anderson Architects and owner, the Albuquerque School System. And now for our last awards category. The Distinguished Architecture Award recognizes significant achievements in planning, conception, design and execution of projects that exhibit values esteemed in New Mexico, such as a sense of place, response to culture and climate, energy conservation relative to projected climate change, ecological stewardship, materiality, and design. This was by far the largest category with 14 submissions. In addition to the defined criteria, the jury looked for consistency between the architect's narrative and the architectural response. An award of merit goes to the Sandia Mountain Natural History Center, located near Albuquerque and designed by NCA Architects. The jury complimented the excellent site planning and considered it the best example in all the submissions of an architecture inseparable to its landscape. As an environmental education center, it was important the building become a teaching tool. The jury saw how each design decision was clearly consistent with the project's mission. The fact that the buildings are designed to be 100% off the grid is impressive and sets the precedent for the Albuquerque public school system. Congratulations to NCA Architects and the Albuquerque school system. Next, we have a merit award for the Montessori of the Rio Grande Charter School by Don Dudley Design and owned by the Albuquerque school system. The jury was unanimous in their admiration for the architectural restraint and thoughtful distribution of program. The relationship of the spacious classrooms to outdoor space, along with views and natural light, were excellent. The new buildings actually represent the completion of an overall master plan started by the architect back in 2007. Extensive shed roofs and overhangs allow for shaded entries and outdoor spaces and minimize the separation of indoor and outdoor classroom environments. The presence of a small leftover urban forest is quite effectively utilized as southern edge to the outdoor learning area, which supports Montessori teaching by deferring to nature. Congratulations to Don Dudley Design and the Albuquerque Public School System. The jury reserved the only honor award for tonight's final project. Occupying the center of the University of New Mexico's northern edge is the McKinnon Center for Management by FBT Architecture and owner, AIA-NM. This project showed high levels of sophistication in plan and section. The architecture mediated between its urban face to the north and its duty to the campus on the south, east, and west. And yet, it still manages to frame a new northern campus gateway and arrange a large program around a common so-called living room. It appears the invisible forces of existing circulation patterns have shaped the building both inside and out. The link between the administrative office and classrooms creates a social hub and is not overly programmed, and it allows circulation fluidity and change. In addition, there is a good mix of active and quiet spaces enhanced by the beautiful shadow patterns resulting from the water jet cut screen inspired by Acoma pottery. One juror remarked, "This is a thoughtful modern expression of rationality and classicism not seen very much these days, and the architecture is a very appropriate gateway to higher learning." Congratulations to FBT Architecture and the University of New Mexico. This concludes the results of our deliberations. I must say the jury found many other projects worthy of consideration, and we had long discussions challenging one another's opinions. Although many of you did not receive an award, I can assure you your project generated a significant amount of serious discussion. On behalf of Amit, Michael, Matt, and myself, we applaud all 26 submissions as an expression of New Mexico architectural pride and enthusiasm. Thank you.
Wow, that was impressive. Dawa e Eddie, Amit, Matt, and Michael for selecting our design winners and for your thoughtful comment and critique. Our next group of awards honors leadership. This year, our Honors Award chair is New Mexico's own AIA Fellow, Bill Sabatini. Bill is a native of Pennsylvania, but has lived in New Mexico and the Southwest for over 40 years. He studied art and architecture at Franklin and Marshall College and received a Master's of Architecture degree from the University of New Mexico. During this time, he discovered the rich history and culture, magnificent rugged landscape, clear skies, and most of all, the many visual contrasts found in the high desert environment, and lucky for us, decided to stay. Before his recent retirement, Bill served as the lead design principal at Decker Parrott Sabatini for over 20 years. The transparent and collaborative design process he perfected over 40 years of practice has introduced a new generation of architects to the region's possibilities, and his influence is unquestioned. In 2016, Bill was elevated to a fellow in the American Institute of Architects, and last year the AIA Albuquerque chapter recognized Bill with a Lifetime Achievement Award. After 40 years of successful architectural practice, Bill continues his passion for art in his studio. Welcome, AIA Fellow Bill Sabatini. Bill.
Is it Sunday? 11? Okay. Hi, I'm Bill Sabatini, and I was asked to chair the jury for the Leadership Awards for this year. And so I reached out to Tina Reams, a fellow in the American Institute of Architects, and Mark Rohde, also a fellow, both of whom were friends of mine, and they agreed to assist me. And I'm here today just simply to announce the winners. The three awards that we gave were for the Young Architect, the Educator of the Year, and the Lifetime Achievement Award. The first award is for Young Architect. And this year we awarded Tamara Begay this distinction. One of the things that makes Tamara stand out is the fact that she is the first woman Navajo architect. which is quite remarkable when you think about it. And she should be recognized for that. She's also involved in national AIA initiatives, one of which is the AIA Diversity Initiative. And she is also the president of the American Indian Council of Architects and Engineers. Very important achievement and participation in the AIA. The next award is for Educator of the Year, and this year we have given that to Christina Yu, who is a professor at UNM. She's been there quite a while, very successful. She has a strong local presence there, but also has a very important global presence. She teaches also in Korea and Germany. And one of the other things that she's been very much involved in and very successful with, she serves as the coordinator for licensing. She's an advisor for NCARB, which is a very important service provided to students at the school to help them find their way through the NCARB requirements. And lastly, of course, very happy to say this year the Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Edie Cherry. I've known her many, many years. In fact, Edie was a professor of mine when I was at UNM in the 70s. She's just a little older than I, so that's how that happened. She is literally a state treasure. We all know her. She absolutely should be recognized for her lifetime achievement. I can say that what Edie taught me back in the 70s was the most instrumental thing in my success as an architect. Back in the 70s, I learned that. Her background at CRS, the programming methodology that she taught to us, helped me, and I know many of my friends accomplish what they did in the architectural profession. Wouldn't have happened without that knowledge. And certainly Edie has, with her husband Jim C., and now Tina Reams, manages, as retired, but she's still involved in the Cherry C. Reams architectural practice. So I would like to thank the AIA New Mexico for inviting me and my jury to provide to advise for these awards and to award them. And all of you who have submitted for this, I encourage you to do it again because it's a really important thing. We have such an amazing group of professionals in this state. I'm very proud to say I'm part of it. The work that's done here is, from my own experience, I can tell you, is tops in the nation. And so it's important to recognize that and to celebrate our achievement. So I thank you very much for that opportunity. Well, it's time for me to get back to work.
Thawa Bill, Tina, and Mark for selecting our Honor Awards recipients, and congratulations to Tamara, Christina, and Edie. We are all so proud of you. Our final award goes to the Firm of the Year. This award is presented to a firm that has produced distinguished architecture over 10 years or more, making significant contributions to the profession, the institute, and the community. The award is juried by the AIA New Mexico Executive Committee, which includes Treasurer Sajni Badri Narayan, Secretary Malia Orell, past President Jennifer Penner, President-elect Chris Calori, and me. The jury unanimously agreed that the firm Atkins Olson Slade Architects embodied all of the criteria for the award, especially related to community engagement and educating others beyond the profession about the importance of architecture and the power of architecture as service. Jurors were impressed with the firm's commitment to the environmental and cultural sustainability, preservation, and innovation in design services. Their work with tribal communities throughout the state, setting the standard for thoughtful and respectful design and community engagement, and the firm's commitment to creating responsible, sustainable, and place-specific architecture. Congratulations to everyone at Atkins Olson Slade, the 2021 Firm of the Year. Once again, I want to say loa'e to everyone who submitted entries this year, to the juries and jury chairs, volunteers, and to our AIA New Mexico members and board of directors. What an amazing body of talent and dedicated professionals. As they say in Laguna Pueblo, Jet yokosh det guyok, amurshro ma sats, jiendro ma sha, ishke hanume, get we are shruts, dro o we shots druts, which means, as you leave here, love one another, respect one another, live as one people. Regards to all.